Hey guys, Eric Cogorno here with Performance Golf. In today's video, I'm excited to show you two of my favorite drills to help fix standing up during the downswing. Gosh, one of the most common issues that players come in to see me with and things that cause issues in the golf swing is standing up or getting taller during your downswing. And if that's something that you've struggled with, these two drills I'm going to show you today have helped thousands of people, both online and in person. I'm excited to show them to you. Let's just go over a couple details first, and then I'll show you those drills. You can practice these at home or out on the golf course. So I've got an 8-iron here, and let's just assume you're going to practice with like an 8 or 7-iron. Now, when I take my setup, I have some amount of forward bend, or I'm bent over some amount. Let's just say I'm bent over like 30 degrees. Now, what good ball strikers will do, and what you want to be able to do, is maintain what we call your inclination to the ground, or that 30-degree angle. Some people will say, hey, maintain your spine angle. So my like rib cage or torso, if that's, let's say, 3.5 feet from the golf ball, I want to be able to make a backswing where that stays 3.5 feet, still staying 3.5 feet at impact, and still stay 3.5 feet through the golf ball. I always want to maintain that same distance away from the ground. That would make it the easiest to be able to consistently manage my arms, hands, and club to consistently hit the golf ball. Now, if you're someone who you set up normal, and at impact you're at a taller angle than you were at setup, that's going to lead to inconsistencies, poor contact, adding loft. You're going to hit it shorter, fats, thins, off-center contact, no club face control, frustration. But when we see a good golfer, we'll see, hey, at impact, they're still at that same angle, right? They're still at that same angle. When you stand up, what happens is that forces you to lengthen your trail arm and trail wrist. Effectively, again, adding loft, poor contact. When we're able to stay down, we're able to look like those good golfers where the trail arm stays bent, the trail wrist stays bent, and they hit the ball very solid. So how do we do this? As with all issues, right, you want to check and see, hey, are there things earlier in my swing causing me to stand up? But let's go over some feels through the ball that will help. My first recommendation, my favorite drill, we call a split grip drill. So when you take your setup position, you can hold the club kind of down your toe line with your lead hand, and take your trail hand and place it just below the grip on the shaft. So I've got a space or a distance between my hands at setup. Now, when I bring this down to the golf ball, you can see when I do my split grip, that obviously makes the club head sit above the golf ball by several inches. Now, why that works is what I'm gonna do here with this split grip is learn how do I get the club head down to the ground with this split grip. So for me to get down to the ground, because I started several inches above, I need to really exaggerate the feeling of me going down, specifically right side bend. My right shoulder, rib cage, core area feels like it's crunched a little bit closer to the ground than normal. If your normal issue is that you stand up through the golf ball, just to get to the point where we stay on the same angle, we need to do the opposite and exaggerate. So again, because we're standing up, it's gonna need to feel like we're going down. We're actually getting closer. If we're at 3.5 feet, we wanna really just stay at 3.5 feet, but you're gonna have to feel like when you're doing this, you go from 3.5 feet to 2.5 feet. You're actually getting closer to the ground. And so you can hold the club about parallel to the ground like this and make little swings and just pose and feel, what does it feel like to get the club down to the ground? For me, I feel my body and my right side of my torso, again, significantly closer. When I first did this, it felt like I was literally like eating the ground. I felt so close to the ground, and I watch on camera and I'm just staying the same angle. And that's what it's gonna feel like for you as well. So the first version is the split hand grip. Take this here, 1 or 2 rehearsals, feel what it feels like to get the club down to the ground. Now, big caveat with this. A lot of players come in and see me, they know they're standing up, and they say, hey, I'm really feeling like I'm trying to get my chest down. I don't love that, because when you're coming down and you get your chest down, if it's pointed at the golf ball, what happens is you get stuck and there's nowhere to go. When we look at a good player on the screen through the ball, what happens is actually their chest is where? Their chest is actually pointed down at the more towards the target. It's the right side of their body that's pointed down towards the ground. So the chest should point at the target with the right side down. Chest at the target, right side down. Feeling a right side crunching of my obliques there. Chest at the target, right side down. Not chest down towards the golf ball. So 1 or 2 little practice swings with the split hand grip. Again, feeling that chest out at the target, right side down, make up that distance. And we're gonna hit a shot feeling that same thing. I'm gonna feel like my right shoulder and right rib cage actually get closer to the golf ball as my chest points out towards the target. And really what I'm looking for there as I do that is I'm trying to really just maintain my inclination, right? That's my goal. I'm trying to keep that spine angle. But because my normal's standing up, I've got to feel like I'm going down. Not chest down, it's like right rib cage, right obliques, right shoulder down. Let's do one more of those. So same feels with the split grip, right side down, chest towards the target. Yeah, and there's a really nice one. Now, one little piece you have to pair with this before I show you the second version of the drill. And this is something, if you're someone who stands up, I would do this split hand grip and plan to do it certainly all year this year. But even if you got to do this forever, like that little hockey feel is going to serve you really good. Split hand grip, get down to it. Chest is at the target, get down to it. And feel what that feels like to be much more bent over. Now, when you stand up, remember in the beginning I said, hey, when my body gets farther from the ball, my arm and wrist are going to have to fully lengthen to get to it. Now, if I keep my inclination or get closer and I still fully lengthen my arm and my wrist, what's going to happen to the club? It's going to hit the ground behind the golf ball. So because my body's getting closer to the ground, something else has to now shorten. This is what the best players do. So in with your chest at the target, not at the ball. In with your right side pointed down and getting closer. You may need to feel, probably will need to feel, like your right arm and right wrist are a little bit more bent through that hitting area. Chest at the target, right side down, trail arm and wrist stay a little bit more bent. And you feel these things to the point where you're getting very solid contact. So same little hockey stick feel, chest at the target, right side down, right arm and wrist are a little bit bent through the hit. I'm looking for good compression, solidness of contact. Yeah, and there's another solid one. So I like that there. There's some students I work with want to say, okay, hey Eric, that's cool. I like that hockey stick drill, but I'm not going to golf like that. So how can I like transfer this to the course? And so the second version of this drill is just a different version of kind of the same thing that gets you closer to a real swing. The same concept of the whole reason we're doing split hand grip is because that brings the club away from the ground and it forces me to learn how to go get it. So what I also can do as a drill is take my normal setup, grip all the way down to the end of the grip. So my thumb is all the way on the end of the grip. So I've got like literally, 2 inches or so from the top. When I do that, see where the club is relative to the golf ball. It's above the ball. And so this serves the same function. If I grip down, start with the club above the ball, make a half backswing, maintain that same height, and then learn how to go down and get to the level of the golf ball, again, with the right side of my body crunched and pointed down and my chest out at the target. Not chest down at the ball ever. Have I said that enough? Chest out, right shoulder down. So down to the end of the grip, club's above the ball, left arm parallel, go down and get it. Now in the beginning, if you don't go down enough, you might thin 1 or 2, and you can exaggerate that trail side going down if so. Let's give this one a shot. Hands down to the end of the grip, club's above the golf ball, and I'm gonna try and go down and get to the level of the ball with that right side. So there, that exaggerates those feels even more for me. When I'm doing it, I really feel like that I'm really tilted over compared to normal. If you're used to standing up, when you finish, you're gonna be very level, straight up and down. When you do this correctly, you're gonna feel tilted over. That right shoulder stays down as your chest goes out towards the target. So I like those. I would start with a split hand grip, see how that feels, and then transition into the drill with the club above the ball, and that really helps exaggerate. Let me do one more of those. Really helps exaggerate the same feels here. So all the way down to the grip, maintain level. Don't go down on the way back. maintain level, go down and get it. Let me see if I can do that one a little bit better, because this feels exaggerated for me as well. Club above the ball. There we go, that was really solid. So I like those two drills. I'm telling you, I've used these and variations of these probably with hundreds of people successfully in person, but thousands online. So if you want to fix standing up, find out earlier in your swing if there's any things that are causing that. Your shaft's too steep, your club face is too open, you've got a poor setup. We've got videos for those. But in terms of feels directly through the ball, gosh, get your trail side down with your chest out, shorten the trail arm and wrist as needed. Consider liking this video if this one helps you. That really helps us. Maybe share with a friend who needs to see this. As always, any questions, leave a comment down below. Appreciate you guys watching.